C10 Talk, episode 135. Mike Finnegan. You know, Roadkill, Finnegan's Garage. He's everywhere.
It's always good to have somebody to share the misery with you. You know, that's the big thing about having someone who's willing to jump off the proverbial cliff with you. You know, it's always more fun when someone is down for the cause and is willing to embrace your wacky ideas. You know, it's never fun when you're the only guy going, yes, this is awesome, let's go do this. And everybody else is like, nah, you know. And I'm lucky Dave Duvern is that guy, you know, outside of Roadkill.
Damn, son. I use precision replacement parts on my builds because I demand quality and I demand precision. If you want the best weather stripping, demand precision. PRP.com. It's that easy. PRP.com. Seriously, check this out. OEM designed parts, it's easy to install, and you have a lifetime warranty. Everything from windshield seals, rear window seals, door seals, roof rail seals, vent window seals, beltline molding, glass run channels, trunk seals, hood decal, you need it, they've got it. They also have their vent window refurbishing program. You send in your wing windows, and they send them back, and they're completely rebuilt, disassembled, sandblasted, painted, and they replace and install new weather stripping, new glass, and handles. Talk about quality, talk about precision, and that's why I use Precision Replacement Parts. PRP.com. And follow them on social media as well. Marquet has been in business for over 40 years. It all started in the original owner's garage. From humble beginnings of a couple parts in a garage to a 2-building manufacturing facility making over 6,000 parts, Marquet has grown to be one of the country's premier truck parts manufacturers. They not only design the products, but also design the tooling to build the products, guaranteeing quality control. They have made their original parts from the original trucks. Aluminum strips are double polished, creating a mirror finish, and crystal clear anodized. They use the highest quality, hand-selected show quality wood that will hold up over time. Why? Because it's kiln dried to precision moisture levels specifically for Marquet. They stock oak, pine, and mini exotics, guaranteeing extremely fast delivery. All parts are manufactured in-house in Oklahoma City, USA. They offer quality parts built by Americans for old American-made trucks. So when you're looking for body moldings, bed strips, bed wood, and so much more, think Marquet. That's mar-k.com. I've been buying my truck parts from brotherstrucks.com for over 20 years now. These guys just aren't selling parts. They build trucks. They have their own trucks. They attend shows. They're part of our community. I saw Jim Flanders at C10's in the Park in Texas and also at Dino's Get Down out here in Arizona. And that's why I continue to buy my parts from Brothers. One thing I remember Jim Flanders saying when I interviewed him for the podcast, when we buy parts, we buy the best parts possible so that you, the consumer, will get the best parts possible. Sure, they have the opportunity to buy a lesser made, lesser quality part, but they know that it's going to you, the C10 Nation. So when you buy your parts from brotherstrucks.com, rest assured you're getting the best part possible. So when you're looking to restore your 1947 through 87 Chevy or GMC truck, go to brotherstrucks.com. That's brotherstrucks.com. Classic Performance Products, CPP, has a few new products out. Let's start with their new HydroStop Street Beast hydraulic assist systems. CPP's HydroStop Street Beast is a direct fit, high-performance hydraulic brake assist system that works great when running a performance engine setup and there is not enough vacuum produced to operate a traditional booster. Simply plumb into your power steering system and share the fluid reservoir with your power steering pump to your high-performance brake system. Assembled with all new parts, this unit puts out an amazing 1,800 PSI at the wheels. How about their new 14-inch big brake kits? CPP now offers a 6-piston, 14-inch big brake system for your Chevy truck, featuring 2-piece pre-assembled drilled, slotted, and zinc-coated rotors, 6-piston billet aluminum calipers with DOT-compliant dust and weather seals, premium stainless hardware, and braided stainless brake hoses. These brakes work with their modular and Corvette-style spindles. Remember, use C10 Talk at checkout and save 10% off your order. Damn, son, 10%? ClassicPerform.com.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
All right. C10 Nation, what up? Catching up with Finnegan today. Good time. Always good to kind of check in with him, and the guy's everywhere. He makes it look easy, and he makes it look fun. So sit back and enjoy this one, and thanks, Mike, for your time. Just got back today from LS Fest West up in Vegas. Good times, good people, great times and great people, to be honest with you. That's always kind of a fun show, a little different than your normal style truck show where, you know, you think about kind of like Brothers, for example. You're down in the green area, you've got trees and shade, and you're just chilling, and you're kind of having a cold one. You're looking at, you know, people's trucks and admiring them. Well, LS Fest is a lot of horsepower, and it's just completely different. Now, you're on blacktop, of course, but there's so many different things going on. So it's kind of like what you wanted to do in high school, or you did do in high school, but you're kind of getting away with it legally within an organized event. It's kind of one of those type deals. A lot of shredded tires, a lot of sourced fuel for things other than transportation, entertainment, if you will. But I'll do a whole show, and that will get out next week. So I wanted to get the Finnegan one out to you. I've been sitting on this one, and then I'll kick out the highlights and interviews and the, just kind of everything going on from Holly LS Fest West out in Vegas. The guys at PSI Conversions had us in their booth. Johnny G, Dino, Dave Rob Can, and my buddy Bowman was down there. He was over at Dirty Dingo, so we all kind of carpooled out, and safe travels to and fro, and that's all you can ask for, and good times in between. But I'll get that show out next week. For now, you've got Finnegan catching up with Mike, and he talks a little bit about his latest episode 67 for Finnegan's Garage. That's crazy because that's a lot. Episode 67. It didn't seem like he'd been doing it that long, but the guy's working hard, and that's a cool one. If you're into like wheel and tire fitment, he really gets into it. I hadn't watched it when we did the interview, but went back and checked it out. It's again, if you're looking for any type of wheel and fitment, there's a lot of tech in there. So interesting stuff that Mike, and he has a guy come in, and they go over quite a bit of stuff to see how he's going to address what's going on with the C10. Definitely widening the stance, and I think it's going to be of a pro touring autocross style truck when he gets done with it. Chassis series, it looks like, so number 9, we just got the GSI one out. That's a little bit longer than the other ones, but the guys came in and sat down, and we had a good time. Those are still going really well. The GSI one obviously is very popular. Not only GSI getting it out to the tech, but they're a mover and a shaker in the scene right now. So it's one of those things where you guys are definitely wanting to kind of know the backstory, and we're able to give you that. So chassis series number 9's out. It looks like you guys are loving that one. If you've got other things that you want me to put together series on, let me know. I'm trying to think kind of as I'm saying that what else is out there. Obviously, there's a ton of content. I've got at least, I'll be honest with you, I've got 10 or 15 shows stacked that I'm ready to go, meaning I need to interview different guys. Like one, for example, that's coming up, and I keep pushing it off, and I need to get up there, is Kyle from Metalox. Our buddy Kyle Oxberger, the guy, the cut man, and I got to get my butt up there. So I think I'm going to take the bedsides from Orange Slice up there, hopefully, if not next week, the following week. And I'd like to sit down with Kyle and make that happen. And he's got a baby coming, so it's going to be even harder. But there's a ton of shows out there that I need to get out to you guys and just keep on grinding. Let's see. There was a Squarebody show that was coming out. I know this is like their third one. I couldn't find it. If you're out there, email me and I'll talk about it. But I couldn't find the link, or I think there was an Instagram post that you sent over. And then C10's On the Capitol, that's going to be Todd and Jen Mann. They're up in the Pacific Northwest, and they're hosting a show up there in Olympia. So that's August 10th, C10's On the Capitol. You can check it out on social media and Facebook. Great people. They attend a ton of shows down south, from Brothers to the Get Down, and they're going to put together their first show this year. C10's On the Capitol, August 10th. That's what I have for you. Let's get out to it, because I just got back from LS Fest and I'm wore out. I wanted to get this out to you guys. So if you got anything, let me know. Please rate and review the show. Do what you do. Stay out of trouble. Let us know how we're doing, and enjoy a little love from Mike Finnegan. All right, guys. Late. All right. C10 Nation. Catching up with Finnegan, my brother. Talk about a guy who is everywhere. And I was looking at the numbers. It looks like August of 16, so about 3 years ago, we got to hang out with Mike, and he's back in town. So what's up, my brother?
Dude, has it been that long?
3 years ago, yeah. 3 years ago. But we see each other at SEMA, and then the zip tie drags. I usually try to get down there to the zip tie drags. So you guys are out here. I mean, for you you're everywhere. You're literally everywhere.
Well, and I didn't realize it had been that long since I called in, and I don't know why, but whenever I come to Arizona, I think of you. Wherever I'm near Phoenix, I think of you, and I was like, maybe he's not busy. I'll just call and see if we can BS. So that's cool, man. I'm glad we could hook up.
Yeah, that's I'm taking that as kind of a romantic thought that when you're in the PHX. So what are you guys doing out here?
We're actually filming an episode of Roadkill, and we're out at Desert Valley Auto Parts rescuing a car that usual story for us, hasn't moved in a long time, and we're going to try to get it running and try to road trip it somewhere. So today was day one of the shoot, and we didn't get a whole heck of a lot done. And usually on day one, we don't get much of anything done, and we don't stay too late. So that place shut down at 4:00, so it was perfect for me to get back to the hotel and call you.
Cool. Can you tell us a little bit about what the car is? Well, this will take a while, huh? To drop. Yeah. So I didn't think about that. That'll probably take a little. What's the production time right now for you guys? Like on this episode, how long will it take?
So it hasn't changed much over the years. We usually shoot. It takes 5 days to make an episode. We don't usually get much more time than that. And that episode will probably be out in 2 to 3 months. I think it just depends on where we're at in the year, but we still work kind of the same we did 8 years ago, which is one episode at a time, film one every month, sometimes two, but right now I think we're doing one a month. So
you got so many things. I mean, so Mike reaches out to me. We chat every now and then. And as soon as you said, hey, you got some time, I'm like, of course. But the amount of things that are flooding through my brain, the first thing I would say, just to kind of go off my list here, is obviously the success of Finnegan's Garage and what you've been able to do with that at home in Georgia. I mean, is it as much fun as you make it appear to be?
It is now. There was a time where it wasn't fun for me. I felt obligated to do it, and for those of you out there that work alone in your garage constantly, that gets old real fast. And so there was a period of time about a year ago, I was just burned out. I didn't even want to go in my garage. And then I hired one of my best friends, Dave Newbern, to come in there and work with me. And that just changed everything, because now I'm not trying to lift the cab of my C10 off alone, and that'll do a lot for your attitude. So he's in there with me now, and we're getting stuff done. And that was part of the reason I realized I wanted to talk to you today. Was I actually was like, oh, dude, I worked on my C10 again after a full year of not touching it. And so I'm like, I actually have something to talk about. So
yeah, so update us. I saw that you've been doing some stuff with that, and that's just, I mean, kind of going back, your last that I can kind of remember checking in, you got the hydraulic setup now. I know that frame. I remember seeing that frame at that setup, if you will, at SEMA, and you've got the sitting on hydraulics. Are you staying with that? What's the update on that truck?
Yeah, so for those of you at home that don't know what we're talking about, I've got a 67 Chevy C10 short bed that I bought from a farmer up in Northern California way back in, I think, 06 or 07. And this is when I was working at Sport Truck Magazine. And airbagged it, built a tube chassis, put IRS in it, laid it flat on the ground, and then Sport Truck closed. I got laid off. A bunch of other things just went sideways in my life, and I sold it to Justin over at Scott's Hot Rods. And it was one of those things where I didn't want to sell it, but I had to. So once I sold it, it purposely didn't think about it. And so I ran into Justin a couple of years ago, and I just asked him, what became of the truck. I figured after 10 years, he'd finished it, sold it, whatever. And he said, nothing. It's sitting there under a cover. I have not touched it since you sold it to me. And then nostalgia kicked in, and I was like, oh man, like I'd love to buy this thing back. So
He was super cool. He sold it back to me without the motor and trans, and I ended up swapping a Chevrolet Performance LT4 in the thing and a 6-speed manual gearbox, a Tremec Magnum. And then I didn't know what I wanted to do with the truck at that point. I was just going to get it running and drive it around. It still had the old Slam Specialties airbags on it. And I meet Jimmy Bullard from MRC Fab, and he was the one that kind of told me about the Mittler Brothers Hydro Shocks. And it's a concept that I actually thought of doing a long time ago, back when I was at Sport Truck, and I actually tried to build it myself unsuccessfully. And that's combining a coilover with a hydraulic cylinder. So you ride on the coilover, but you have the adjustability of the hydraulic cylinder. And Mittler Brothers made it, and I think there's a few trucks driving around with it out on the street. Mine I've never driven because it's not done, but Jimmy Bullard and his guys came to my house. We put a new front clip on, installed the hydro shocks on it. That was a year ago, and the truck has sat ever since because I've been so busy with life and work and trying to keep my race car in one piece that I just stopped working on the truck. And it wasn't until this week that I finally uploaded a new episode of my YouTube show, Finnegan's Garage, with an update on the truck, because I'm finally working on it again, and my goal is to actually drive it this summer. So stoked about that.
So one thing you said is, it hasn't, moved that much in about a year. Do you find that time just flies? It's got to be so much for you because you're so busy and you've got the family and the kids. Do you ever just think, how do I slow this train down? Because you built a really rad ass train. I mean, your life, people vicariously are loving what you're doing. And I'm sure at times it's just exhausting, but you do make it look easy. You make it look fun. And, just walk us through that. And at times you probably think, dude, I'd like a couple weeks off.
Well, I am having the time of my life doing all this stuff, 100%. I won't bitch about it at all. But there is definitely a sense of being overwhelmed from time to time. And so I don't get burned out on the work because I like working on cars, but I reached a moment at the end of last year where I was like, I have to slow down. I can't do all this stuff anymore because it's, I started to feel like I was shortchanging my family, my jobs, everything. And so I actually stopped doing my podcast at the end of last year. And so I'm no longer doing that. And I know you know this, and I know a lot of people out there don't, but a podcast sounds really easy and quick to do, but it actually, if you prepare for it, it eats up a bunch of time. And so just cutting that one job out of my life and then hiring my friend to come in the garage and rent with me, that made all the difference in the world. And so now I'm getting stuff done, way more stuff than I would have previously. So my goals this year are to, keep doing Roadkill, keep doing Finnegan's Garage, but actually get two of my neglected projects done, which is the C10 and my drag boat. I want to get both those things rolling and actually drive them this year.
Cool. Yeah, that's, you make it look easy, and I'm a fan of Kibby and Finnegan, or now Kibby and Friends. Ironically enough,
yeah.
He just got, I just listened to not only Bo, but Luke Duke. Once you left, Corn Dog's like killing it. And, I was joking with Kibby and obviously with Corn Dog. I'm like, so Finnegan leaves and now you guys start just landing all these like huge, like guests. Corn Dog's like, we thought we should probably step it up since we didn't have the celebrity of Finnegan.
I figured he was just holding that in his back pocket for the last 2 years. Like, he could have done it at any time. And he's like, nah, Finnegan's gone. Now we'll talk to Tom Wopat and John Schneider.
Oh, it was cool, man. Now, do you listen is it something that, do you have time to go back and listen to that show and think, yeah, that was me. But at the same time, you're probably happy for those guys that they're continuing the show, and the show is wildly successful.
Dude, I'm stoked for him. I had a lot of guilt about walking away because Rob, the show was really taking off, and Rob had big plans for it this year. And I felt I felt so bad about walking away that I was like, you guys can just have this, like, still run with it, make it as successful as you can. I just can't do it anymore. But to answer your question, no, I don't get to watch Roadkill. I don't really get to listen to podcasts that often. There just isn't time. And so I've got a big screen TV in my house that's never on because I don't ever get to watch it. And I'm not bitching about it. It's just a fact of life. Like, I know that if I'm watching TV, I'm not down in the garage working on that C10. And so, you know, it's either hang out with my kids and my wife or watch television, and the TV loses out every time.
Yeah, good for you guys, and the kids probably love it too. I think one of the questions that kind of comes to mind, and then we'll kind of hit a home run here at the end with the C10, because obviously we're a C10 podcast, but you talked about being so busy, and I kind of wondered what the response was, you know, from the YouTube, because when we talked to you 3 years ago, okay, YouTube, that's where I got it. I'm a subscriber of MotorTrend. It's like $5. I actually think I just got my bill. I don't know if it was today. I just saw the email, and it's $4.99 or whatever, and it's well worth it. You know, then you guys brought Tony in, which that's got to be huge to give you guys a break, because the show and the personalities are so successful that it seems like Freiberger's going one way, you're going one way. Now you guys have Tony in there. It's a balance. My question would be, what was that like? You know, was it was there a lot of flack that you guys were taking from going from YouTube to MotorTrend? And then, you know, what was your perspective on it?
Oh, we got barbecued for sure. The moment the audience found out we were leaving YouTube, you know, it was ugly. And you know, and I understood it, you know, like the audience, they were there from the beginning, you know, they have a sense of, you know, ownership of the show, and they should. I mean, they supported us when, you know, nobody else did. And so to have it move away from that platform and go somewhere else, I get why they were angry. You know, by the same token, like, the people that own the show, they weren't making any money off of it. And it's either move it somewhere where they can make money off of it, or don't do it anymore. That was kind of the options as it was presented to me. And Freiberger and I don't think a lot of people know this. Freiberger and I were not bright enough to own the show. We don't own a stake in it. It's not ours. We don't get to make decisions on where it's aired. And so we're just lucky to do it. And, you know, when they told us what they were going to do, there was nothing he or I could do to stop it from leaving YouTube. And so, you know, it moved to a place where it could become profitable, and I get the backlash 100%. I totally get it. By the same token, that's $5 a month. If people actually went and looked at it, it's ridiculous the amount of content that's behind that paywall for $5 a month. It really is.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, the key for me, the draw, is my son and I can literally, that's the channel that we can, it's an investment in my relationship with my son. I mean, it's something that he can watch, and I can be like, oh, watch, you know, Freiberger's doing an intake episode. What do you think? What's going to be this? What, you know, kind of break it down. And then obviously, I guess because the kids now live on YouTube, but I'm sure you guys, you know, it's hard to explain, but you wanted to explain to the audience, like, listen, the amount of content, it's either going to go away, or you pay a little bit and it's going to stay here. And everybody would pay. I mean, majority, obviously they have. That's why it's continued and the success has continued. But people get emotional, and we had it for free. And I could just see it. I mean, because I actually read, you know, I follow all that stuff too. It's like, they're selling out. I remember when it was free and it was on YouTube, and you're like, listen, we're not selling out. There's nothing to sell. I'm not making any money, you know, or they're not making any money. And if you want to enjoy it, then this is what we have to do to pay the bills, keep the lights on.
Yeah. And it's totally understandable, because like you said, like, it was free on YouTube. Why does that have to change? And if it was never on YouTube and it wasn't free, then obviously people wouldn't be as upset that it moved. But it just, there was a change at YouTube, you know, several years ago, and it changed dramatically the way people were able to monetize their channels. And, that affected a lot of YouTube creators. And so I think, you know, we're not the only ones to be in this situation. And, you know, like I said, it's not ideal. It really isn't. But the choice of being able to do Roadkill, or, you know, not do it at all, I mean, I'd like to keep doing it. I really would. So.
Now, how much of a break has it been to, you know, when Tony fills in or helps out? That seems, it's kind of like having Dave with you at Finnegan's Garage. You get another personality, and you guys also have great chemistry, just like you and Freiberger.
Yeah, it's a huge help, because Freiberger, I mean, that guy films every day of his life. He does 3 shows. He does 2 other shows in addition to Roadkill. And so logistically, when everything's working smoothly, he could be on every episode of Roadkill. But if one little thing in the schedule goes sideways with his other shows, you know, it dominoes into Roadkill. And so being able to have Tony come in is massive. And Tony and I, we're great friends in real life. And so it's easy to go to work with that guy. It really is, you know. It's a different vibe than going to work with Freiberger, but it's still a good one for me.
Yeah, it's cool. You guys, you make it look easy, and you guys have a ton of chemistry and a lot of fun. And one thing you and I were just talking before I hit record, the episode that will be either 1 or 2 before this was a guy named Josh, and he's Vague Industries. And I was telling him, I said, the reason why I think Roadkill still to this day is just so successful is you guys aren't just, I guess misery loves company, and you guys are either confident or, like you kind of alluded to, stupid enough or not smart enough, or don't care or care, but know that the real people out there doing what they're doing, mistakes happen. And you commented on it, but I drive my crew cab all the way out to Texas every year for LST eastbound and down to the Throwdown, a little thing I put on. And we had issues, and I said Roadkill, and Roadkill happens, and I said this, and you know, it's funny because I think you've given a level of confidence in this world that we live in. There's keyboard warriors and just so many people that it's like, listen, you can drive your hot rod car, show car to work 5 miles, but we're driving thousands of miles in these old cars. And I'm sure, just like the one you guys are going to work on for this episode, you're talking about why you're here now in Arizona. It's not like it's almost like set up for failure, but it's funny to see if I make it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, that's the thing is it's not that we don't care. You know, it's really not. And it's not that we're just total hacks. It's just the moment you put your ego in check or put your fear of the unknown aside, it allows you to have so much more fun in your life. You know, if everybody didn't get hung up on how their car looked and just made it move and got out and hit the highway with it, oh my God, the memories they're going to make. And I think that's been the greatest compliment I've ever received about Roadkill, is that it made people who didn't think they could be car people feel like they should. And it made guys that were so hung up on their cars being perfect that they were never going to see the light of day decide, you know what, I'm just going to go road trip, or I'm going to go race, or I'm going to do whatever. And who cares that it's not done? You know, who cares what it looks like? And, you know, it's a lot more fun to live like that. And there's a lot more of us than there are guys that have $100,000 perfectly painted, you know, jacked up on jack stands with mirrors under them show cars.
Yeah, there's a lot of them, a lot of guys, and I could see where you would love to hear that, and as would anybody who said, you know, you don't have to be perfect, just enjoy the ride, enjoy the journey, get out in your car, your truck, your project, whatever it was. And I'll tell you what, man, you're doing that. You know, one of the things that you kind of did on your own channel was the latest and greatest ramp truck, the enclosed. That's been hilarious. Not only the purchase, but the weight, the length, and just you guys need to come up with a new term. Like, this is not a G-rated show, so I'm going to call it like fin fuckery or something, because you guys are like, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy awesome that you've taken the consistency and rolled it right over to your own channel. And it's entertaining.
Oh, well, thank you. It's just been fun. You know, that ramp truck is, nobody believes me when I say this, because when they see it, they're like, this is all wrong. It's way too long. There's only one axle. This thing must suck. And I'm honest, completely honest when I tell you this. It is the best driving truck I own. It drives right down the highway, no issues, and is smooth and is quiet and rides awesome and goes up hills, no problem. It just gets 5.5 miles to the gallon. You know, it is what it is. but dude, it is so fun to drive because it's like a friggin' time capsule inside. You know, I feel like the tape deck works, the dash pad's not cracked. Like, it is 100% stock inside, and it feels like I've been time traveling back to 1989, that truck.
89 was pretty good, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I liked 89. So what are you going to do? Do you still have the red ones? Do you have 3 ramp trucks now?
Yeah, I mistakenly ended up with three ramp trucks. So there's the OG Roadkill ramp truck, the 73, which is a crew cab with a wedge bed. That one I've come and swapped, and that one is just ridiculously fast and really fun to drive. That thing needs a bunch of restoration work, and I wasn't going to do it. I was just going to keep it as a tow pig. And then I moved to Georgia, and it just started rusting really bad. Like, the doors, everything just started rusting on that truck from being in a very moist climate. And so lately I've been trying to actually get that truck looking presentable. The guys at Brothers, I've been chatting with those guys, and more than once they have mailed me body parts for that thing, and the shipping company just keeps trashing the body parts every time. It sucks, dude. And they do a hell of a job packaging them, but you can't stop someone. You can't help when someone hits something with a forklift.
Yeah.
You know? And so eventually we'll get some straight body panels for the hood and the doors and that thing, change out the rusty parts and repaint it white. I've got Big Red, which is the first enclosed ramp truck I bought. It's an 86 Chevy. Is it an 86 or an 84? I don't know, 86 or 84 crew cab Chevy ramp truck with a 20-foot enclosed box. That thing I bought because I was looking for an enclosed trailer, and I found that it was the same price as an enclosed trailer, but it moves by itself. I was like, dude, this is great. So I bought that, and it's not in as good a shape as the OG Roadkill ramp truck. It needs some restoration work. You know, it's got some rust here and there. But then I stumbled upon the 89 Square Force 1, which needs 0 restoration. I mean, that thing is just mint. It's beautiful. And it has a 24-foot box. It's the longest of the 3. And so I have all 3. I'm going to get rid of Big Red at one point, but before I do that, I want to shoot out all 3 ramp trucks and make a video of that.
That would be killer.
That's the next thing, is to shoot them all out, you know, see how user-friendly they are, which one's fastest, which one can you take through a McDonald's drive-through, you know, which one's easiest to load, goes up the hills best, whatever we can figure out. We're going to shoot them all out. And then after that, we'll put Big Red up for sale.
Yeah, I would think it's got to be so Yellowstone, my 73 crew cab, long bed with my camper. I have an acre, and it's not even something that I enjoy storing. So I can't imagine storing 3 crew cab ramp trucks, 2 with enormous boxes on the back. How do you do that?
So they're spread out all over Georgia. I could fit, physically fit them in my driveway, but my neighbors and my wife would probably not be happy about it. So
yeah.
Square Force 1 is sitting in my driveway right now because I've been working on it off and on, and we're about to put a 4L80E in it from Gearstar. And so we're going to see if overdrive will help us get a little bit better mileage, because I tend to drive that thing pretty fast. Big Red is sitting out at my friend Dave Newburn's place because he's got like 5 acres. And then the Roadkill ramp truck is also in my driveway because we've been working on that lately. But yeah, I've been thinking about doing recently is trying to find a cover for Square Force 1, like trying to find a similarly sized RV and find the cover for that and see if it'll go on Square Force 1, because it's sitting outdoors in my driveway and I don't want it to get trashed because it's really nice. But yeah, it doesn't fit indoors. It's just too tall. It won't go in my garage.
I'm thinking with your connections and just the reach, somebody in Georgia in the South is going to have some big old RV, mini Winnie, like the 82 little RVs with a Chevy van or something like that you could probably pull together. I could see you like sewing it together to make the cover the front, something like that to cover Square Force One. But it sounds like,
well, maybe one of your listeners, if any of your listeners, work at an RV place and sell covers, because that's the thing is you go online, you try to look at these things and go, it looks about the same length, but I'm not sure, because ideally it would have a door on the side of that cover so I could still go in and out of the box while it's covered up. That would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be like,
let's be greedy about this.
That would be well, you could always make one, right? We could let's get Dave like seamstress schooling, and you can be like, all right, dude, we're gonna on Roadkill on Finnegan's Garage, we're gonna learn how to sew, and we're gonna make a door in an RV cover for Square Force One. Dave, you're up, and he's like, nah.
That would be sick. That would be sick because I don't sew and I don't paint, and I have no aspirations to do either. So that would be great.
Well, I hate to break this one to you, but I just did a 4L80 swap in Yellowstone, and
oh no,
it absolutely is so rad. It is so nice, and the Turbo 400, I would have loved to I beat it hard. I mean, 3 trips to Texas and back, 31 to 3,300 RPM, but I put a 4L80 in Yellowstone, and it is the best. I love it, but my fuel mileage didn't change that much. And I did a Holley Terminator because what you're going to find out is, which, I mean, this stuff, but you're going to have a module to make that happen. So depending on what you do, for your module, I mean, you can buy a standalone module and make that work. I did a Holley Terminator, and it's like a brand new truck. I mean, I literally have pretty much all the creature comforts that I need in that truck now, from the AC to direction, my gauge, my Dakota Digital. I can tell you I'm at 4,200 feet. I'm going this fast. It's this cold outside. I can reach in my window in my driver's door. I can grab the key and pop it without even sitting in the thing or pumping at one time. So those things are I mean, and the throttle response is killer, but I was surprised that I didn't really get that much better fuel mileage. And I think the reason why is because I'm just too hard on it, the pedal. I'm just too heavy on it, and I'm always behind. So I'm always just like, I don't have time to try to do, this huge fuel mileage breakdown. And I might be getting a gallon or two or a mile or two better. But honestly, I'm usually about 8, and I think I might be at I'm going to say 9.5 to 10. But I was looking for 12, and that's not going to happen anytime soon unless I really probably go 65.
Yeah, 65 is hard to do.
It is hard to do.
I was worried about this. Because the weight is huge, obviously, and I'm worried that when I do this swap, I'll never even get into overdrive. But maybe having at least a 4th gear would be better, because Square Force One. It's got a 454 Turbo 400. It's got a quadrijet, which is interesting in '89. It doesn't have TBI, and according to my wideband 02, it's running really lean, and we're probably not going to be able to lean that out and make it any more efficient than it already is. And that damn thing going 75 miles an hour gets 5.5, and I can slow down to 65, but good God, you're getting run over on most of the highways in America if you go 65.
Oh, and just you're so happy about your momentum with that ass. You're like, dude, I got this freaking ass behind me. Now, I will say that one of the things that my audience has been just pounded in their head is that Geico commercial with the piggy that's screaming, wee, wee, wee. That's what you have with a Turbo 400 when you're doing that. That goes away. That is so nice.
It's got to get quieter.
Oh, it's so much. Well, it's a lot. It's nicer that you're not revving this high, but I will say, and it might be because the 4L80 is so much, I mean, it's big and it sits really close. I do hear the transmission a little bit more, and I've got the Vibro Solutions, coating my floor and whatnot, and I've got the 5 mil and the 2 mil. So, some of that should help, and I think you did that. Well, no, you did that on your Roadkill ramp truck, but
I did that on the old one.
Yeah. You'll like it. I'm just saying that it's, I don't expect a huge change, or maybe do it and it'll be like a shootout. And you can be like, well, Ronnie's truck's doing this. Let me see if I can beat that. And then I've dynoed mine before, and I, got back like a month ago from Texas, and I just haven't had time. I'm going to go back down and dyno my truck. So I would gladly, show you what I have. Now I have the OG 454 in there. I have the Terminator, and then the 4L80. So, and it does have like a Performer RV style cam with a Holley intake, and then I'm running electric fans. So we'll share all that later, but it'll be interesting to see what happens with Square Force 1 and if that changes much. And if you're going to drive it, then you're going to have to do something, because you're not going to want that 400 forever.
Yeah, I'd love to know what your dyno session reveals, because if I remember correctly, the Roadkill Ramp Truck put like 331 to the tires, I think, torque. I don't remember what the horsepower was.
Yeah, that was OG before your Cummins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea what the Cummins makes with the tires. But that's the rub with this whole thing, is I did all that before I found Square Force 1. And of course, everyone's telling me to undo Square Force 1 and put all that in the Roadkill, in the new Ramp Truck, or undo the Roadkill Ramp Truck and put all that stuff in Square Force 1 and diesel swap that one. But dude, I don't want to. Like, it was so much work to come and swap the first truck, and I cut the truck for the swap, that I don't want to undo it. I don't want to go back. And the thing about Square Force 1 is it's not lacking power at all. It's just a fuel economy thing, and I can buy a lot of gas for what it would cost me to diesel swap it. And that's why I haven't done it yet. The other thing is the Cummins swap would be the easy choice, but I've already done it, and I really don't like doing things twice. And so I'd rather do a Duramax swap on Square Force 1, but dude, those things are like gold. You can't find one at a reasonable price that doesn't have 300,000 miles on it. And I don't want to buy a used engine for a perfectly reliable truck, get out on the highway in the middle of nowhere and break down because my used diesel engine. So.
Well, and I mean,
I don't know.
I think part of it would, if I was in your shoes, it's like, well, it's nice, and even if you did Duramax, that's exactly what I was thinking you would probably do, is it's like, I can't have this much money tied up in ramp trucks, and I can only use so many ramp trucks. So you almost put yourself in the situation to say, do I keep one? Do I kind of keep two? Because you got a lot of money tied up in those things. Well, at least after the diesel swap with the Roadkill Ramp Truck, you've got, the luxury of having that power. Now, what about putting an enclosure on that truck? Could you do that?
I've thought about that, and so that's where I'm in this weird spot. Is I don't need, nor should I have 3 ramp trucks, and we definitely want to have 3. Big Red will go away because I don't want to restore another one. But Square Force 1 is in great shape. The Roadkill Ramp Truck is rusty and needs a paint job. It's got a dent in the roof. The bottoms of the doors are rotted out. The bottoms of the front fenders are rotted out. The hood is bent and rusted. Like, it needs sheet metal and a paint job. And so how much is that thing actually worth? Like, all the drivetrain is all new, but it needs all that restoration work, including window regulators and windows and a dash pad. Like, you need to restore it. So I have a really nice chassis and drivetrain, but the rest of it is not nice. So is it even worth selling? How much would it even be worth? I don't even know.
Well, to me, some of the stuff you said is very easy, right? The window regulators, the dash pad, that stuff's cake. I also think that if you would even consider it, somebody would want it for what it is. It's the Roadkill Ramp Truck. A. B, it is a Cummins swapped truck. And then C, some of those guys don't care about some of the things that you're saying, and they're probably maybe, going, let's just say a few hundred miles, whereas it seems like you're going a lot further and you need the security because of the overnight, and that's why you went with the enclosure. So I think you would find that you could probably in the therapeutic life of Roadkill and or Mike Finnegan, we can say easily, you're probably going to sell the Roadkill Ramp Truck. You're going to Duramax swap, Square Force 1. You're going to get everything you wanted. And yeah, there you go. It sounds easy when I'm sitting here. It sounds good.
You've just solved my entire life. That is the logical answer until you factor in nostalgia. And I'm like, can I really get rid of the Roadkill Ramp Truck? And as beat up as the body is, I wouldn't want to just give the thing away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know what I'll do. But I can't drive them at the same time. So, you know, there's that.
Well, you might just have to let Dave drive one, but it does seem like another thing when I've seen you guys and he went on your Square Force 1 purchase, that is another thing that seems to probably make things a lot more enjoyable for you, having a kind of a road warrior that goes with you and participates. And then just in case, if and when, or more so when you break down, you're not, solo.
Oh yeah, it's always good to have somebody to share the misery with you, and that's the big thing about having someone who's willing to jump off the proverbial cliff with you. Is it's always more fun when someone is down for the cause and is willing to embrace your wacky ideas. It's never fun when you're the only guy going, yes, this is awesome, let's go do this, and everybody else is like, nah, And I'm lucky, Dave Duvern is that guy, outside of Roadkill. And so, yeah, we froze our nuts off picking up Square Force 1, and it would have been horrible and drove anyone else insane, but he's cool with it.
Is he married, single? What's his situation?
He's been with a really nice woman for a long time, and he's got kids of his own, and his situation is very similar to mine. And so, but he's a lot like me. It doesn't matter what the car is. He just loves cars.
Yeah.
And he loves road trips. So it works out. I think the OG Roadkill Ramp Truck will for sure stick around at least through the end of the year, because we're both going to go race Hot Rod Drag Week, and it's on the East Coast, and we need to haul both our cars there for the start of that event. And so we'll take both trucks. And then after that, I don't know, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. But I don't think I can sell it and get a fair amount of money out of it with it being rusty and, dented. I think that's my opinion, but I honestly don't know. I never sold a ramp truck, and I've never sold a Cummins swapped ramp truck that's compound turboed, and I have nothing to gauge this on. I don't even know what it's worth.
Yeah, that's because all you do is buy ramp trucks.
Yeah, I can't seem to get around that part, because I keep seeing, I've seen two more that are just awesome.
Oh, they're calling your name, man. Your wife is just like, you will not buy another one. The reason why I asked if Dave was married is I often wonder, because sometimes I'll have these friends and they're married, and I'm like, I suck them into the craziness, and then I'm just like, I feel like your wife wants to kill me. And so I was kind of wondering with Dave being part of Finnegan's Garage, if how that works, if you're like, dude, we're leaving, I found a truck, it's in, Texas, we're going, and he's like, I'm in. And then he's got to face his wife, and then you now have to face the wife later down the road next time you see her, and she's like, oh, don't think I forgot, Mike. I know what you do.
Well, yeah, I think I lucked out, because I think his old job had him traveling more than we've ever traveled together. And so I think he's home more now than he was before. And, yeah, I think she's cool with it. I hope so anyway. Good.
Now, he obviously must be local there then?
Yeah. We don't live too far apart.
So your last episode of Finnegan's Garage, what did you do with the C10? Because I have not seen that.
So it had 22-inch wheels on it, and laid flat on the rockers. But the wheels, I ordered the wrong wheels 10 years ago when I bought those things, and they don't fit. They were ridiculously tucked inside the fenders. Like, you could put your fist between the fender and the tire. And so I never liked the way it looked. And, fast forward to where I'm at now in my life, I want to have my cake and eat it too. I want it to sit flat on the ground, but I want it to ride good and handle good, which is why I made the suspension changes I made. And so I downsized to a 20-inch wheel from a 22, but I made it way wider. It's 2 inches wider. So there's 12 inches of rubber front and back. It's got 295, 30, 22s all the way around on a set of Forge Line GA3s. And it tucks perfect. It looks ridiculous. I can't wait to drive the thing. And my goal is to get it running this year and then to go find a really great truck show to go to. I'm kind of out of the loop on those things. I haven't been to a truck show in years. And so I'd like to go somewhere, anywhere, and just road trip my truck to some cool truck show and hang out with, fun people.
Well, you know that I can help you with that one for sure. So it sounds like,
when I get close, I'll take your brain.
Oh my God. Yeah. Well, I just got back from Mississippi and that was fun. That was kind of more of a friends and family style. Everybody's invited, but it's definitely was at one guy's house. And we had 70 C10s and crawfish and a lot of fun, but you've got a couple killer ones coming up. I think by the time this airs, I'll have made my decision. I'll actually probably have already went to the show, but there's one called Battle in Bama, and it's down in Mobile, and so I want to hit that one up.
The one on the aircraft carrier?
Yeah. It's not on it, but it's in the back. So there's a big green kind of park, and everybody's out there, and then the ship is right there in the water, right behind everything, and so it's all part of the whole thing. And the guy that puts it on was the promoter, the show promoter. He's a mini trucker at heart. And he was there. He was at the show this weekend where I was at in Mississippi, and he sold me on it. And I haven't been. I've been to LS Fest West. So these three shows are all on the same weekend: LS Fest West, C10 Nationals in Texas, and then Battle in Bama. And so I've been to the other two, and I thought, well, I need to spread my wings a little bit. So I'll hit that one up, and I'll know, and we'll talk about that one for sure. But what else so what I was thinking is, so it's almost like you kind of have a wide body that's internally wide, but you've stayed within the stock sheet metal.
Yeah.
So you're going to be doing some autocrossing, some crazy shit with this truck then, but you're low.
I think so. I mean, I'm gonna cage it because I was never happy with how stiff the chassis was after we built it 10 years ago, and I want it to be safe because it's going to be fast. So I decided to cage it. It should corner good. It should go fast. It should be low to the ground. But I don't know. Like, I would be totally content to just cruise to something where I don't even do that. Like, I've always wanted to go to Dino's show. I've never been to LST. I'm kind of gun shy at that one. It seems like it rains every year. But C10's at the park. Like, I don't know. I'm down to go anywhere, probably early next year once the thing's done and on the road.
Good. Well, it sounds like it might work out just about right for these. I guess they're kind of the spring style shows, and then considering working through the summer and then all the way up into another one too geographically for you is there's one in Tennessee. It's called the Southeastern Truck Nationals. I haven't been. The guy who puts it on is a really rad C10 guy who comes out here. And so there's that in Tennessee, and that's in smack dab in July. So depending on your schedule, we'll get it all figured out. Few more questions. Okay. So you're wide bodied on that thing. So we'll check that out. The audience needs to check that out. What else do you want to do to it? So you've got your motor, you've got your trans, you've got it, you're going to do a roll cage and then what, interior and creature comforts and then start rolling it, or what else do you got to do?
Yeah. My goal is it needs exhaust. It needs brakes. It needs wiring and plumbing. I got to do something about the bed floor because I don't want to hide all that cool chassis work. And then, paint it in the interior. This may be one of the ones where it actually gets painted and the interior done. Although the interior, I really don't want much other than a set of good bucket seats and a sweet console. It doesn't need a whole bunch of stuff there. It'll probably look more race truck inside than anything else.
It's kind of cool how your truck is a perfect example of a truck that really at this point of our automotive history and just the trend, your truck looks really rad the way it is. So when you say paint, that's not where we are right now. I think your truck, I mean, don't get me wrong, a nice paint job is going to look cool, but we definitely know your truck as Finnegan C10 the way that I see it every day, or when I do see it now, the way it is.
Yeah, you know what? And if I could find a matching set of stock color doors, I'd probably not paint the thing. But somewhere along the line, the doors got swapped off the truck for a couple of aftermarket ones. And so the truck looks cool, but the doors screw it all up. And so, you know, if I could find a good set of 67 doors in that green color that weren't cracked at the top and, you know, were in good shape, I don't know, maybe I wouldn't paint it. But right now, I think the plan is to probably make it look nicer than it does. I don't know. We'll see.
Dude,
I need to drive it. It's really what I need to do.
You crack me up, bro. You have like 500,000 subscribers on YouTube, 500,000 followers on InstaWiener. You could get these doors. You could get the, you know, Square Force 1 cover. We just need to do we need Dave to, you know, work on some marketing or something, because those doors, we can get those doors. If that's what's keeping you from finishing the project, we can find the doors, or insanely enough, find somebody to color match it. I don't know, but nonetheless, the truck is unique. The truck has its own character. Yeah, it'd be cool to see you finish it and then get it out to see the people and just get mobbed. You'd be like the new and the next Aaron Kaufman. So just be aware of that. And I think you'd handle it fine. But I've seen you at SEMA, and you're going to get mobbed.
I don't know if I'll be the new and next Aaron Kaufman. That dude's pretty badass, but I would certainly enjoy myself. That's for sure.
Good. Next time we talk to Mike, we could talk to him more about his diesel conversions. We'll catch up, man. So thank you so much for your time today.
Yeah, thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Okay, man. Have a good week, and if you need anything while you're out here, let me know.
All right. See ya.